given the nature of this audience, we've decided to identify 3 young netas, and young in politics means under the age of 40, who will tell us whether it's a good idea to join politics or not, whether to enter public life or not, and which is the favored party of India's young. So please welcome 3 very special young netas who are joining us. From the Congress Party, the leader of its Rajasthan Congress unit, Sachin Pilot, and former Union Minister. From the Aam Aadmi Party, its treasurer, Raghav Chadha. And one of the youngest ministers in the Narendra Modi government, Anupriya Patel of the Apna Dal, ally of the BJP. Come on. Is that a fair statement that I made, that to be young in politics, what is the definition of being young in politics? Is it 21, 30, 40, 50, 60? I sometimes wonder whether even at 60 you're young in politics, Sachin Pilot.
Well, I think, Rajiv, the good thing about India is that most things are stretchable. So even the limit for being young is quite stretchable depending on who's talking and who's speaking. So it's quite okay to be young at 55 or 65. But I think what defines youth in the country is acceptability and the fact that you're able to connect with the majority.
You see yourself as a young neta, or do you believe that now that you've been 16 years in politics, it's unfair to call you young?
That's a tough one because I don't think I'm really aged that much, but I have spent a decade and a half in public life. So I believe that it's okay to be whatever age you are, but as you get older, Rajiv, I think you'll agree with me. As you get older, you want to remain younger. And I think I'm just about reaching that age where you don't want to age very fast. You want to hang on to what you have.
That's one way to look at it. Raghav Chadha, when you first came into the room, I thought you were a volunteer. Because you look like any one volunteer. How old do you think Raghav Chadha is? Okay, let's first guess. How old do you think Sachin Pilot is? How old are you? They're saying 31. How old are you?
Whoever said 31, I want to thank that person. Where's that person? Thank you very much. Unfortunately, I'm not 31. I'm a very old 39.
You're a very old 39, okay. Raghav Chadha, as I said, when you came into the room, I thought you looked like a volunteer. How old are you? Guess, how old do you think Raghav Chadha is? They think you're 16, yeah? You're underage, you can't even be allowed here.
No, I'm 27, and since it's a young party, a lot of us who joined the party at the inception were young and are pretty young. The person who looks after the organization building is 27. The person who heads the social media department is 28. The national treasurer is 27. So a lot of young people are working in this political organization.
And you're unmarried at 27, or you're married to politics?
No, I'm married to politics.
That's not a nice thing to be married to, but you can, it's your choice. Anupriya Patel, you're older. I'm not going to ask a woman her age. You want to guess how old Anupriya Patel is?
I don't know who says what.
The average age they say is 32. Are you 32? You can't be 32.
Did someone say 32?
Yes.
Sorry, I disappoint you. I'm 35.
You're 35, not bad. But, you know, the fact is all of you are under 40. Do you sometimes believe that politics needs to be much younger than it is in this country? There are too many old people in politics. You know, when you see people, 80-year-olds, stumbling on a stage, it's not very nice to have them in public life at the age of 80 in front of a young audience sometimes. Do you believe politics needs to be younger?
Look, it's not the question of young or old. Politics is a very serious subject. One has to be very seasoned in their thoughts. Because when you sit at the parliament, when you sit at the state assemblies, you're going to decide on the fate of lakhs and crores of people. So it's not really about age, it's all about how your thought is. I mean, are you connected with people? Are you able to feel the pulse of the nation? How maturely you can take decisions, because that is going to decide the fate of so many people. So I guess it's all about that.
It's your Prime Minister's birthday today.
Yes, I know,
our
and the
Prime
whole country
Minister's
knows
birthday.
it.
And I think he's 66 today.
Yes, he's 66 and he's doing a wonderful job today. He's distributing wheelchairs to the tribals.
Does he have more energy than you have?
Exactly. I think that goes beyond doubt. He has much more energy than any of the youngsters in the country. At 66, he works like anything. He is a man who works 20 hours in a day, so that's commendable.
Sachin Pilot, your leader is 46. As of now, he's on a yatra. You know, he's on a long yatra through Uttar Pradesh. Do you believe it is time that your leader now took over as Congress president? He's 46. Barack Obama is going to give up US presidency at the age of 48. Do you believe the time has come for Rahul Gandhi to say, I'm ready to take over?
I think it's fair to compare countries like the United States to India. But I do believe that when it comes to issues of leadership, Rajiv, quite frankly, and this is true for anybody, you make anybody the Prime Minister and see how much energy they get. To be a Prime Minister, it really does take a lot. And as far as the Congress party is concerned, the fact of the matter is that Rahul Gandhi was elected Vice President unanimously 3-4 years ago. And I think it's a matter of time before he is elected President of the Congress party. I, for one, believe that he should be elected as soon as possible so that we can then forge a new team and move forward.
Why can't Sachin Pilot be Congress president? Why must you have to have a Nehru Gandhi to become Congress president?
I'll tell you why.
Let me ask this out. Let me put you in the spot. How many people in this audience think Sachin Pilot should be Congress president? It's a democracy.
You know, Rajdeep, unfortunately for you, I know my capacities and my limitations. And my job today in my party is to revive Congress in Rajasthan. And that is a job I've been given. I think I will do justice to myself and the party if I do what I'm asked to do. It is Congress party's decision as to who we elect as party president. Mrs. Sonia Gandhi has been elected Congress president for 18 years unanimously by everybody. Now, please, I think the wisdom to elect leaders within the party must lie with the party cadres. We have lost elections, we have won elections, we won 2 elections back to back. We lost this one, lost it badly. With all humility, we've accepted our loss and defeat. We will fight back, we'll come back to power and serve the people. But the decision who will lead the BJP must lie with the BJP leadership and the BJP workers. In the Congress party, no matter how many hands go up and down, the fact is that Mrs. Sonia Gandhi has been for 18 years a Congress president. And I think most of the Congress workers today believe that Rahul Gandhi should be given the full task of being Congress president as opposed to working as vice president and then having, questions like you have been asking me.
Very interestingly, if I'm not mistaken, Raghav Chadha, your party chief is what, 46 years old? How old is Arvind Kejriwal? 47. Do you believe that Mr. Kejriwal also has that kind of energy that only the young can have?
Well, he certainly has a lot of energy. He is very passionate about what he's doing. He was a nobody. He was a common man. He came from the rags and now he is running a government. And he is taking forward the dream that a number of young people like me had when we joined this organization. And certainly he works more than any of us.
What is that dream? What is the dream that you can offer today? Because many believe that the dream was there a few years ago, the dream no longer exists today. Today you're just like any other party.
Well, the dream certainly is to give a political alternative. The dream certainly is to, reshape the political landscape of India so that the corrupt, criminal, communal politics that has been going on in this country ever since independence ends, and politics actually becomes, all about nation building and not about, struggling or enmity for getting elected. So in that sense, I think we are fighting for the cause. Certainly, at the very inception of the political outfit, when the Aam Aadmi Party was being incorporated, we said that politics is a dirty game. And from the inside, we certainly, it appears to be much more murkier than it was. But the idea is to stay clean, and the idea is to stay inside and clean the system.
Let me ask both Anupriya Patel and Sachin Pilot this. The fact is, both your parents were in a sense politicians. Does that make it easier to enter politics? Because your father is I don't think Raghav Chadha's father was a politician. He's a chartered accountant. Arvind Kejriwal's father was not a politician. Narendra Modi's was not. But Rahul Gandhi's is. I'm just wondering, is it easier if your father or mother is a politician than it is for anyone in this audience who wants to maybe become a politician tomorrow?
Look, there are 2-3 things I want everybody to understand. First of all, it would be wrong for me to deny that legacy does play a role. However, we must understand that legacy does not only hold good for politics. It is also relevant for other professions as well. For example, acting. So definitely it gives you an edge, you get an entry, but it's like if you do not have substance, you will not be able to proceed further. For example, if you're the son or the daughter of a great film star, you may get a mega launch. But if you do not have any substance in your acting skills, then the road ahead is very tough. So it definitely gives you an advantage, but then whether you'll survive or not, that depends on how much substance you're carrying within yourself. And legacy matters with respect to other professions as well, not just politics.
Sachin Pilot, is that true? My father was an India player, and that didn't qualify me to play cricket. Rahul Gandhi's father, grandmother, great-grandfather were all prime ministers. Your father was a minister. Does that make it... Politics is the one field where dynasty still survives. Isn't that true?
I think it's one field where it's most highlighted.
It's most?
It's most highlighted. Because like Anupriya was saying, it's true. I think the decision for a child or a son or daughter or grandchild to pursue a career must lie with that person. I don't think being born in a family ought to be disqualification. But I do believe that if you have the talent, the imagination, the wherewithal, the commitment to prove yourself in any profession, business, cricket, acting or politics, then it must not be a disqualification. But one has to, in public life, Rajdeep, prove yourself again and again and again. If you become the chairman of a board of directors in a company, shareholders will meet you once in 1 year, 2 years. And your performance can be guarded by people around you. But as a politician, you're interacting with the people, you have to face elections, win time and again. My father passed away when I was 21 years of age. Most politicians make sure that while they're around, their children and grandchildren come into public life. Mine was a different case, but I think I'm very proud to belong to the family I belong to, by you. But I have to say that once you have a person from a political family, then also the bar is very high. You're always compared to your father, grandfather, and what they didn't do. So I think an upstart has much more of a open field to perform and be judged by the people. As a person who has a political family, you're obviously always being compared, which is also not easy. But in democracy, if you go and fight elections time and again, and people keep electing you, I don't see any data where it says that if you have a person from politics who's from a non-politician family has done exceedingly well. There are enough people who have shamed us who don't come from political families, and there are enough people who come from political families who have performed really well. So I think it should not be seen as a qualification or a disqualification. It depends on the individual, your accountability, your commitment, and if the people of India want to elect you by pressing a button against your name, then we have to respect the collective wisdom of the electorate.
Raghav Chadha, you wanted to intervene. You believe that Aam Aadmi Party is the only place where you can survive at 27 years of age, become a national treasurer.
Well, absolutely. The fact that an ordinary person like me who comes from an average middle-class household is sitting on a stage with a former union minister, a sitting union minister, is, a testimony to the fact that Aam Aadmi Party is reshaping the political landscape of India. I don't enjoy a fancy surname. I'm not a Gandhi, I'm not a Thackeray, I'm not a Mufti, I'm not a Paswan, I'm not a Yadav. I'm not a Patnayak. But still, this organization was incorporated to put an end to dynastic politics. In our constitution, the party's constitution, there is a clause that only one member from one family will be given a ticket to contest elections. So no two members ever will be given ticket to contest elections in the life of Aam Aadmi Party.
You know, whenever people today speak about sort of merit-driven society, people clap. How do you respond to that?
And let me just one, before you go to Ms. Patel, you know, my message to all the young people out here is that politics is not a hegemony of the few. It is not a monopoly which will be run by certain elite families. People like you and I can also enter politics and make a difference.
Anupriya, you want to...
I just wanted to add that, I mean, as Raghav also said, politics, if anybody here thinks it's all fun and games, it's a bed of roses, then I really want to invite, you guys to be with us for a few days, and you'll understand that it's all sweat and blood and a lot of hard work. It's not an easy way through.
Let me ask this audience, how many of you in this audience would want to join politics? You know, that's less than 10%. Less than 10%.
Less than the following for Sachin Pilot becoming the president of Congress Party.
Is that right? Less than 10% want to be politicians, right? How many want to be politicians once again? Let's raise your hands. That's not very many, Sachin Pilot. Why? What would you advise someone who you think should... Why do you think a young man or woman should enter politics?
To be honest with you, that was a fair amount of people.
About 20%. 20% maximum.
If every fifth person is a politician, what's wrong with that? I think it's a substantial number. और भी दो काम करेंगे, सिर्फ सब नेता थोड़ा ना बनेंगे. But you see, becoming a politician, Rajiv, becoming a politician, it doesn't mean you have to become an MP or an MLA. Now here's Raghav Chadha, a bright young man, much younger than I am, and I'm very happy sharing a stage with me and our fellow minister here, Anupriya ji. But I want to say this, and if Arvind Kejriwal is wherever he's listening to me, instead of making the MLAs and ministers that he's made, he should have made this fellow here an MLA or minister. He's much better qualified, because the change that Aam Aadmi Party wanted to bring, जो change वो लाना चाह रहे थे राजदीप, it's disintegrating faster than people can imagine.
Raghav, you don't have any CD with you, right? You haven't shot any CD, right? Okay.
No, Rajiv, that's unfair. That's unfair, because Aam Aadmi Party is plagued by a lot of arrests and charges and so many issues that I can't talk about now. But there are good people in all parties. That's why I said that it's good that he's got a very mature head on his shoulders. He is the kind of people Mr. Kejriwal should be promoting, and not the guys who are being sent to jail often enough. As far as becoming politicians, I think the first step is to participate in the democracy, vote, ask questions, make leadership accountable, and then if your passion permits you and you really believe you can do this, it's important to take plunge. I know people across India who have met and interacted. कोई सरपंच, कोई प्रधान, कोई काउंसलर, कोई चेयरमैन, कोई मेयर, कोई नगर परिषद, कोई जिला परिषद. Young people are taking on leadership challenges at the local level. They don't get written about, they don't get publicized, but across India, in municipal areas, in rural areas, I see young sarpanches, 21, 24-year-old people taking on real public positions and leading from the front. And that metamorphosis is happening already. So you don't see that at the national level so much, because you talk about a few families that are very prominent perhaps. But I know that there are lakhs of people, just like the ones in this room, who are willing to take on the leadership roles of the 21st century. And it's going to happen. No power on earth can stop the youngsters becoming much more participative in our democracy.
I think that's a good hopeful note on which to conclude this, because I'm hoping that next time when we come on Mind Rocks and we have young politicians, we'll have many more hands being raised, because we need many more young politicians. Raghav Chadha, Sachin Pilot, Anupriya Patel, may your tribe increase. May we have more women young politicians as well, not just young politicians, but more women who enter politics as well. And I hope that someone in this audience in a few years from now will also be on stage sharing the platform like Raghav, Sachin and Anupriya are here today. Thank you very much.
Before before you go, we just have a token of thanks, and thank you all three of you, young Turks, young leaders, lots of expectations, and a big round of applause. Come on, guys, I want to hear it from you. Awesome. May I invite on stage Raj Singappa, Group Editorial Director, India Today Publishing, to kindly come on stage and give a token of thanks. Raj, thanks so much. Anupriya Patel, Raghav Chadha, Sachin Pilot, a big thank you, a big round of applause once again.